Hey YouTube, I want to thank you guys for the responses that I got to the questions about the businesses that you saw when you were a little kid in your, towns or whatever. And also there were a lot of other comments about how things got to where they are, and blame was put on everything, including ourselves, and I think that's a good thing. And I want to make a video response to that because I can't respond individually to the comments as well as I normally do, because they're extensive and they need some, more thorough input. And I'm going to do that in the next video. But today, what I want to say is, here we are. It's the 1st of December, 2018, and Christmas is a couple weeks away. And normally the first weeks of Christmas, we have the grandkids, in the first week or second week, we have the grandkids come and decorate our Christmas tree with us. And then after we're done with the tree, we have a couple of treats and stuff. Well, since they're all older now and they're busy, we're going to decorate the tree ourselves this year. So anyway, Sally has a small Norwegian pine that she bought a couple years ago, that she's been nursing that thing like a baby, trying to keep it healthy and to make it grow. So I'll show you some pictures of it then at the end of the video. But anyway, so she decided that we would decorate this tree this year, since we don't want to have to get out all the decorations and everything. But anyway, she doesn't know it yet, but I have a different idea. And the way I look at it is, we always had a real tree, and our grandkids or not, it's a real tree for me. I want a real tree. Besides, all she talks about when she decorates the tree is where she got all the decorations from. And I don't feel like depriving her of those memories, because if she decorates that little tree, she's going to have to buy little decorations that are not going to be, the tree can't handle the decorations she has, because she has a load of them. And I just don't want to take those memories from her. So anyway, one thing about Christmas is you remembering the little faces of the kids Christmas morning is a great memory for us, and we have plenty of them. So we're satisfied with that. I just want to tell you though, everybody celebrates Christmas differently, and however you do that, it doesn't really matter to me. We try to celebrate Christmas a certain way every year. I've been doing it since I've been a kid, so I just continue. When I was a boy, it was hard to sleep Christmas Eve because, knowing what the morning would bring. And for me, the knowing part was, my mom was pretty extravagant over this. But anyway, if there's one thing I can say for sure, my mom could fill our basement with gifts for everyone that came to our house during the day, Christmas Day holiday. My mom's family included 3 brothers and their wives, and 3 sisters and their husbands, and we had so many and she also had grandparents, our 4 grandparents, her mom and dad, my dad's mom and dad. They would all come at Christmas time and stuff, and we had more cousins than you could shake a stick at. Now, yeah, Mom worked for weeks preparing pies, cakes, ham, homemade cheese, pasca, which is like a bread, nut roll, homemade potato bread, pinwheel candy, fudge, making fruit punch, and buying all kinds of alcoholic and soft drinks. She'd make all kinds of cookies that would fill 4 or 5 of those popcorn cans. Hard-boiled eggs decorated like Christmas colors, candy canes, hard candy, and with all the decorations, and she did it all alone. My mom didn't want any help. She loved doing it. She loved the holidays with a passion that no one I ever knew after could match that. Sometimes she'd decorate the tree twice just to make sure it was what she thought it should be. She would decorate the tree herself and take it down herself. Mom would go out of her way to find out what the guests wanted or needed, and made sure that they she filled that need. Dad hung the lights outside and just worked as much overtime as he could possibly work, and you can imagine why. So Mom would start wrapping gifts shortly after Thanksgiving, or buying gifts, either one. She bought through the year, put the stuff in the closet, and waited till the end of the year. But anyway, usually from the end of Thanksgiving, once Thanksgiving was over, and until the end of until Christmas Day, she'd be wrapping gifts almost every day. 1, 2, or whatever. I'm not talking tons of them, but pretty many darn gifts. Sending out cards, she'd send cards to everyone we knew and some to people we didn't know, just to celebrate Christmas. My mom was a very tough woman. There was no telling her what she was going to do in her house, and she ran her house the way she thought best. And she knew where everything was that she had, and if you went in that house and moved one thing, you would see her go move it back. She didn't let the little kids that, when our kids were very little, they got their hands slapped if they touched her stuff, and that's how they were taught to respect things, and they did. And we do the same thing. She had a big extended family of relatives, and even though they gossiped about one another and sometimes during the year told one another off, I mean, there were some real rugged struggles now and then, fights, outright fights. Christmas brought them back together. Now this is my mom's family I'm talking about. Not one person in our family can say that she ever forgot them during Christmas. If they did, they're a liar. She did it for years until she and Dad were just plain tuckered out. They couldn't carry the gifts, they couldn't wrap the presents, they couldn't do the tree anymore, they were just tired. They got old and got tired. And that was when she was in her 70s, her late 70s. That's how I was taught to celebrate Christmas, by my mother. For Sally and I, Christmas has slowed down quite a bit as well. The new generation just puts things into a different light. They celebrate themselves, and it just isn't the same. That's not to say that, people can't celebrate Christmas any way they want, and being this extravagant is not something that I recommend everybody do. But it's nice when you can give and still not be hurting when it's all over, said and done with. During the Christmas season, we try not to listen to news or watch anything that will dampen our spirits. Usually what you'll see is the 1950 versions of Scrooge, It's a Wonderful Life, and the Nativity will be playing on our DVD players. They get put into the players and they run almost continuously, especially on Christmas Day. That day there will be something running even if no one's listening to it, just to keep the spirit alive. My wife has Christmas music playing from Thanksgiving right through to Christmas. This is Sally I'm talking about now. Not too many ethnic groups sing like the Ukrainian singers when it comes to Christmas, in my opinion. That's Sally's birth nationality, and she lives it and loves it. What I really love about my wife is that she's a workhorse, and she fulfilled the same things my mom did in our lives as far as traditions and stuff go. Not with quite the same flair or with the same organization, but Sally keeps it real as opposed to out of control. I figured that I funded, and you'll laugh at this, but I have funded myself. Not someone buying it for me or giving me the money. I have figured that I have funded an astounding $188,000 for Christmas gifts in my life. Now you might laugh about that, how does this guy know these things? If you could talk to my son, my one son, he would tell you how accurately I keep track of my bills and my money. So anyway, now I know that now I know how my mom and dad felt when it came to, the end time. So for us, it's time to stop this and let someone else take over. And it's time for us to just enjoy the gift of Christ as it was meant to be. Have a good one, guys. That thing's too little, even though it's a real tree.